Hello everyone, I'm Mohammad Fayaz, and today I will be presenting our work titled Spectral Pruning of Deep Neural Networks via Adjacency Edge Index. This project was done along with my teammates Samuel Kurian Roy and Srihari MS under the guidance of Dr. Sishu Shankar Muni from the School of Digital Science, Digital University Kerala. So let me walk you through what we did and why it matters. So first of all, what is a network? What do you mean by a network? Basically, a network is just a bunch of connected points or nodes that share something, like people in a social network or computers on the internet. The idea is that the way these points are connected can tell us a lot about how the whole system behaves. So networks aren't just lines and dots, they're powerful models for understanding relationships and interactions. So what's a neural network? A neural network is the computer science version of that idea, inspired by how our brain works. It's made up of layers of artificial neurons that learn from data to recognize patterns and make predictions. Neural networks are everywhere in image recognition, speech processing, and even recommendation systems. But one big challenge is that these networks can get really large and complicated. So our goal was to make them lighter and faster without losing accuracy. So in any network, not every node is equally important. Some nodes are like key players. If you remove them, the whole structure changes. Centrality measures help us figure out which nodes matter the most. Think of it like a social network. Some people are connectors who keep different groups linked. We use this same idea in neural networks to identify which parts actually contribute to the most to learning. Now let's move to a new idea, which is adjacency edge index. This brings us to the main concept. It's basically a way to measure how important each connection or edge is in a network. Without getting too mathematical, the idea is simple. For each node, we look at how strongly it's connected and how much it contributes to the network structure. This helps us decide which edges can be removed or pruned without hurting the overall performance of the model. Now let's talk about a network which is called Jazz Musician Network. To test our idea, we first used something more visual, the Jazz Musician Network. It's a data set of 198 jazz artists and their collaborations. By applying our edge index, we could see which musicians acted like bridges connecting different groups. When we removed those key nodes, the network started breaking apart. This was a great way to understand how pruning works, and we later applied the same logic to deep neural networks. Here you can see how the network looked before and after pruning. Before pruning, it's quite dense, too many links, kind of messy. After pruning, it becomes a little bit more cleaner with only the essential connections left. The same thing happens in a neural network. By removing unnecessary edges, the model becomes smaller and faster, and sometimes even generalizes better.
So in the last slide, we talked about pruning. Actually, pruning is a part of a broader concept called regularization. Techniques used to prevent overfitting and make models more reliable. You might have heard of methods like dropout, where we randomly turn off neurons during training. So our method, spectral pruning, is different. Instead of doing it randomly, we use the network structure to make smarter decisions about what to remove. ഒരു സീനുണ്ട്. എടാ ഇത് പ്രൂണിങ് ഇല്ല. എടാ ഇതിനകത്ത് പ്രൂണിങ് ഇല്ലല്ലോ.
എന്തത് സ്വഭാ അത് നിന്റെ പാട്ട് കട്ടേ അതില്ല.
Let me walk you through the 5-step framework used in deep learning process. We start by establishing a baseline. Here we train a fully connected neural network, also known as a dense model. This helps us understand how well the model performs before any optimization or pruning is applied. So next we model the hidden layer as a graph. This means that we represent neurons as nodes and their activations as connections. This steps allows us to analyze how different neurons interact and contribute to the final output. So score saliency. We quantify the importance of each neuron. We measure how much each one contributes to the model's performance by using adjacency edge index. This is known as saliency scoring. The higher the saliency, the more crucial the neuron is. Now we remove the neurons that have low saliency scores. In other words, those that don't add much value to the network's decision making. After pruning, we retain or fine tune the model to recover any lost accuracy and further optimize performance. And finally, we perform random pruning to serve as a baseline comparison. By removing neurons randomly, we can see how much better our structured pruning performs compared to the two chains. This entire framework, from training a dense model to pruning and fine tuning, helps create a more efficient and interpretable deep learning system without significantly sacrificing the accuracy. So as you can see, this is our pictorial representation of a pruned and unpruned version of deep learning models. In the first picture, it is the unpruned model, and the second picture is the pruned model. Now, I will be talking about the datasets which we are used in our deep learning models. In our deep learning model, to be specific, because we have used multi-layer perceptron as our deep learning model, and we used multiple datasets. So we tested this approach on a few well-known datasets, which are first one will be MNIST dataset, which is the handwritten digits, and second one is the KMNIST dataset, which is the Japanese characters, and next one will be fashion MNIST, which are clothing images. These are good benchmarks to see how well pruning works on different kinds of image data. So this is our result of comparison between spectral pruning and random pruning. So in the spectral pruning, we pruned out using the saliency scoring, and in random pruning, we just randomly took just nodes and removed that nodes from it. So this is the whole comparison of MNIST dataset. As you can see, the baseline which is in the red color is the baseline accuracy, which is the accuracy of the original model without any pruning. And in the blue line, we can see it is the spectral accuracy, which is the accuracy which we attained by using the pruned version of a model using adjacency edge index, and it is higher than the baseline accuracy. And now we can see each bar plots as the accuracy attained by randomly pruning. So we can see some of them has gone more higher and some of them has gone way lower. So we can't take any chances while we doing random pruning. So when we do pruning based on the saliency scoring, we could get constant better spectral accuracy. So next we compare the accuracy of KMNIC dataset. Here also we can see the results. This is the result of fashion MNIST dataset. Okay, now I will be talking about the future directions. Now there is still a lot more to explore. For example, in CNN we could prune filters instead of just edges. and in graph neural networks applying it to internal message passing layers. Mm, For RNNs and LSTMs, we can prune redundant neurons. And for transformers, we can even prune under attention heads. So the same spectral idea could help streamline almost any deep learning model. So these are the references and sources that guided our work, from research papers to data sources and visual tools. So to wrap up, spectral pruning gives us more structured way to simplify the deep learning neural networks. It helps us keep what's important and remove what's not, making models faster, lighter, and still accurate. So we would like to thank our guide Dr. Shishi Shankar Munisa for his support and feedback throughout this work. Thank you all for listening. I'd be happy to take any questions.